Al Jazeera recently released an explosive documentary talking about substance abuse and performance enhancing drugs in professional athletics. They specifically talked about athletes like Peyton Manning and how they're allegedly using human growth hormone. Now, Peyton Manning suffered a serious injury in the NFL. It was inconceivable that he would come back and be healthy and strong enough to play, but he miraculously was able to get over that injury, and of course, he's playing now. Well, Al Jazeera spoke to a pharmacist by the name of Charlie Sky, who revealed that Peyton Manning and his wife have been receiving IV treatments at an anti-aging clinic after hours. He also noted that human growth hormone has been sent to the home of the Mannings, but it's specifically addressed to his wife, not to Peyton. Come on. All right. Now, Peyton Manning spoke to ESPN about these allegations, and he thinks they're disgusting. In fact, let me give you his exact quote. He says, "Nothing that's ever been sent to her or my wife has used have I ever taken." Great grammar there. Absolutely not. I have my treatments that I do. She may have hers, and that's her business. Now, a lot of people aren't buying it, and so the big question is it a big deal? Is it a big surprise that people in the NFL, athletes in the NFL, or professional sports for that matter, are taking human growth hormone or performance-enhancing drugs? This is a big story that keeps coming up over and over and over again. But the big point that I want to make about this is keep in mind that people playing in the NFL do not have guaranteed contracts. And if they get injured, the smallest injury, they stand to lose tens of millions of dollars. So when there's this huge incentive to take drugs to ensure that you're healthy and athletic and you're able to play, well, then people are going to take advantage of that, that incentive. They're going to do what they need to do to make that money. I'm not giving him a pass. I'm just saying I'm not surprised. Haas, what do you think? Make your point.
You already know my controversial stance on using performance-enhancing drugs. I'm all for it. I think it should be regulated a little bit better because it's so widespread already in the NFL and in all of professional sports that people should just come out and say, hey, you know what? We're trying to make the sport better. We're trying to, like you said, stay safe, as safe as possible. I even think that in this day and age, if you're not taking steroids in the NFL, you're running a health risk, like a severe health risk for yourself because everyone else is doing it.
Okay, so let me bring up another point, though. So NFL players are 50, 60, 70 pounds heavier than they were 2 decades ago. And that has a big impact on what we're seeing with concussions. The bigger you are, the faster you run into each other, the more likely you are to suffer from severe concussions, which in turn lead to long-term, mental health ramifications.
No, I disagree. I think NFL players. I think NFL has always been. Here's what I disagree with. I think they were still getting as concussed. It just wasn't as widely recognized as it is now because of social media and because of the transparency, the inevitable transparency that comes along with it. I think it was just as dangerous back in the day.
Okay.
But now we're just more aware of these issues, and now we have Will Smith coming out with a movie like Concussion.
Yeah, it's actually an excellent movie. You guys should check that out. But one thing that I will say is, yes, it's always been a problem, but I'm saying that it's exacerbated by the fact that these NFL players are now bigger than ever. Jen, what do you think? Make your point.
I think there's definitely something kind of fishy going on here. Obviously, this isn't the first time that hormones have been in the news for athletes taking them. I don't appreciate how he kind of sort of threw his wife under the bus a little bit. That was a little shady. And is this where we've gotten to the point where we don't even want to use our own human strength? We have to just inject ourselves with these things to be better. The point of playing a sport and the point of being good at a sport is knowing you did it on your own.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
But exercise science is so much better now than it was back in the day. So is that cheating? Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like,
no, because you're using your physical strength, your own natural physical strength to do your thing.
But what I mean by exercise science is like, that's not true. It's not just exercise science doesn't just, like our diets are better. We're using different vitamins, different techniques like IVs to rehydrate our bodies, like cut weight in a smarter, better way. Like people aren't just magically becoming better, faster, stronger, even without the use of steroids or other performance enhancing drugs. What's the line? Like people are getting better at sports and and making sports more interesting and entertaining because of that.
Right,
because of the
I don't care about
science
I don't care
around
about
it.
being interested or entertained. I care about the safety, the
Okay.
health, and the well-being of the athletes. And so if we go ahead and exercise, the policy that you like, which is open the floodgates and let them do what they want to do.
But it's already open, is what
Well,
I'm saying.
no, but it's not open. It's against the law, and there are some athletes that are paying the consequences for it, which is why Peyton Manning is vehemently, denying these allegations against him. But what I'm trying to say is there are athletes out there who don't want to put synthetic materials in their bodies. There are athletes that don't want to do steroids. And when you open the floodgates, well, then now all of a sudden, athletes who may not want to be doing those things are pressured to do it. And so I don't agree with that.
I think
we got to move on, though. Let me ask you the personal question. Tell us about a time that you cheated to get ahead, Haas.
Define cheating.
Okay, so
No,
quite a bit.
of course, I think everyone in college has cheated at some point, and I did too. I was in a fraternity. We had test banks, and of course, I would look at the previous tests from the past years, or I'd have a pledge go in my place to class and take notes for me, if that's what you consider cheating. And I would just never go to class, and then I'd take his notes and then study the night before the test and ace it.
It's incredible because I cheated a little bit when I was in high school.
You?
Yeah.
Dude? You're
in high
such a
school.
goody two-shoes.
I'm not a goody two-shoes.
Yeah,
but
you
when
are.
I was in college, I was so afraid of getting caught that I didn't cheat at all. I was so afraid. Jen, what about you?
I think the same in high school. You do that side eye,
Yes. Yes.
try really hard to strain. So I tried really hard to think when have I cheated? When have I done something that I could look back and say I didn't do that? But that's it.
The
Yeah.
point brought to you by two goody two-shoes.
Woo, woo.
Well, I'm not completely a goody two-shoes.
Yeah, you
I mean, I've talked about how early on, I would take Adderall. No, I wouldn't take it regularly, but there was this one show that I did with Desi Doyen years ago when we were still at the Current studio. I took Adderall, and that was the best show that I've ever done in my life. I hosted both hours, and I was like, oh my God, I'm spitting out vocab that I didn't even know I knew. It's incredible. But don't take it, it's bad for
I
you.
love that you just advocate, hey kids, take Adderall.
No, don't take Adderall. It's a highly addictive and widely abused drug, okay? Just keep that in mind. All right, guys, tell us what you think. Tell us about a time that you cheated to get ahead. Share your comments in the section below, and we'll see you soon. Hey guys, I have an awesome new announcement for you. Turns out that The Point will be hosted on the video platform Watchable.com. All you have to do is go to Watchable.com and search for The Point, and boom, you'll see our videos, you'll see our content, and we really want to make sure that The Point is available on all these different and awesome, great platforms. So take a look, tell us what you think, and we'll see you soon.